Welcome back, guys. We are driving to the gym once again, and this right before I hit the record button, this thought just popped into my mind that I really want to do a dopamine detox, which I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of a trendy thing, and I've done one in the past about maybe 2 years ago. It was at some point during, maybe a little bit before COVID hit. It was a little before COVID hit. There was definitely no doing a dopamine detox during COVID because, well, maybe that would have been a fine time to do it too. But there was just kind of nothing to do then. So I ended up doing it before COVID hit, and it was very, it sounds weird to say life changing, but in a temporary sense, it was. It really did change the way that I felt after I went through the detox. And it's just not very pleasant to do because you're not doing anything that is incredibly, or immediately, I should say, gratifying. But after you stop doing it, all of the things that you used to do either aren't as desirable, you don't have as much of a need or an impulse to do those things, like, say playing video games or watching TV. You don't have as much of a drive to do those things because you've gotten rid of the addiction, in a sense, in a very temporary sense. You've kind of gone through withdrawals, is a way of saying it, I guess. But the process itself isn't very enjoyable. You've really got to buckle down, but I think that what I want to do is the first week that my business is really up and running, with product for sale, I think that's the week that I want to do my dopamine detox. I only, in the past I did it for a week, and I feel like that was a good amount of time. I got sufficiently detoxed from all of the pleasures that I normally enjoy. And I feel like, yeah, that would be a good time to do it. It would give me a lot of time to work. And, there's the downside of, doing it the very first week. Maybe I should do it a week before, which, that would be pretty close to now because we're very close to launching this business. But the thing is, if I'm doing it the week of, then that's when you tend to feel the most lethargic and the laziest, I guess, because, if I'm dopamine detoxing, that means there's no coffee, there's no tea, there's no, there's no hanging out with friends. Maybe I could justify. I did justify it in the past, partly because at that point in time I was living with my friends, and it would have been tough to completely avoid them. And the way that I did it was, if we were all going to, well, actually, no, I went to bed pretty early that week. So there wasn't really any movie watching as a group or anything. But, the thing about doing it the week that you actually need to do something is, maybe it's not the best idea. Maybe it is. I think, you know what? I'm going to try it. And worst case scenario, it slows down my initial momentum, right, of launching this business. The first week isn't necessarily supposed to be explosive or the most critical in my mind. A business is something that you grow over time. And while I'd like to get a decent amount of momentum the first week, if I'm going to be a little bit more sluggish, just, because I'm dopamine detoxing and doing nothing to, just for the sake of enjoyment itself, then so be it. But the way that I intend on doing this detox this time is, I'm thinking pretty severe. My thought is, like I said, no coffee, no alcohol, no anything, right? Nothing that you would consume to improve how you feel. And I also want to start cooking more bland meals. Normally, I'm a pretty good cook. I make some good food that's pretty flavorful, but I'm thinking just like chicken and rice and salt for that week, or whatever meat I happen to get. Just not much seasoning, not even much salt, because that's another thing I've heard of. No, I don't think it's called a salt detox, but you basically just use less salt on food, and then when you start using a normal, or no salt, would be ideal, and then when you taste salt again, it tastes so much more powerful, and you need a lot less. That's another thing that I've heard of. I'm not going to go to that extreme. Salt, sodium it's an important electrolyte, and if I'm working out and using the sauna, I should probably be getting a decent amount of sodium. But I will use less. I'll cut down on it just to really see how far I can take this. There's going to be no screens for enjoyment's sake, right? No fun YouTube videos, no Netflix series, no video games, no movies, none of that. And let's see, what else am I gonna do? I will continue to read. I think that is a fair thing to do, because reading isn't the kind of thing that I ever just find myself doing out of the blue for fun. It tends to be like I set time aside to read if I do. And so I'm not worried about getting too much dopamine from reading. It is enjoyable. I do enjoy what I read. I'm reading a really good book right now called Surface Detail. It's a cool sci-fi novel, but I don't count that as a dopamine producing activity. I mean, it technically does, but I'm willing to accept that, right? If my new bad habit is reading books, then so be it. I will happily take that bad habit. And other than that, I mean, there's not much more that I can think about. I probably won't do anything with friends that week. Just because oftentimes if I am doing something with friends, then we'll have a couple of drinks or do something else, and we'll be doing something that is really fun. And I can go a week where I'm just getting up early, going to bed early. I did really enjoy doing that in the past. I used to get up at 6 a.m. and it would be dark out, and I'd be writing in my journal and doing all kinds of stuff. This was about maybe 2-3 years ago, or longer than that. Shoot, it was pre-COVID. This was like 4-ish years ago about. It was like real close to before COVID though, so it was really about 4 years ago. But I did really enjoy that time and the times that came after it, and I just feel like, okay, it's time to do that again. And maybe I'll make a regular thing out of this. Maybe I'll do it once a year. I already do Sober October, but that's not really a dopamine detox because there's still all those enjoyable activities. Doing a true dopamine detox, where you just say, all right, I'm not going to do any of these hedonistic things that I enjoy for a period of time. And a week is that's a long time when you're not doing any of the things that you normally do. It would be one thing to do it for like 2 or 3 days, but a week is significant. That's, it's just under 2% of a year, which, that's not the craziest thing. It's not like it's the largest period of time, but it is respectable, I will say. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm looking forward to, enjoying things that I wouldn't normally enjoy because I'm not busy doing other stuff that I theoretically enjoy the most. Which is to say, I'll be spending less time on screens. I'll be spending more time. Well, maybe I'll be spending time on screens just doing work. But I'll be spending more time on things that are going to make me happy in the long term instead of short-term happiness things, which I have always looked back on my life and been so grateful that I've done long-term happiness things whenever I've done them. Just anything that I've done in the past that benefits me in the future. At that future point, I do often look back, and I'm very grateful to myself and what I've done in the past to lead to present day comforts. And the thing is, I don't want to get lazy with it and stop doing stuff like that just because my life has gotten to a certain level of comfort. I don't think that's ever the right way to go. And, a couple of these videos ago, I was talking about missing people and, how the fact that I thought it was beneficial to, if there's someone that you really enjoy spending time with, not spend 24/7 with them, but to miss them from time to time, and then you appreciate them even more. And I think that idea also applies to, things that you do. And that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to do this dopamine detox, because I think that when I come back and I start engaging in these dopamine producing activities, I'll enjoy them and appreciate them even more than I currently am, which it's good to get a reset every now and then. I think that if you never reset, you're kind of like a computer where the disk just hasn't been defragmented in too long, and it gets weird, it gets slow. Every now and then you need to do a good factory reset, delete all that junk that's built up, all of the viruses and all of the old files that you don't need anymore, and just get a good reset in and start enjoying stuff more than you currently do, more like you're a kid again. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this. We'll see if it works this time. I think it will. I have high hopes, and that should be going on in about, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll keep you guys updated on when I end up doing that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.